It's your favorite neighborhood Ahamkara here, and welcome to a new 3-part video series called So You Want to Get Better at PvE, Mod Mechanic Edition. This 4-part video series will go over the 2 major mod mechanics in PvE content in Destiny. These 2 mechanics are Charge with Light and Elemental Charge. Note that even though these mechanics can be extremely influential in PvP, these particular set of videos will be focusing on the PvE side of things. If you would be interested in a series focusing on the PvP side, please let me know in the comments below. Before we get started, I have a disclaimer for this first video. This first video is going to be detailing a lot of background information on Charge with Light and Elemental Welds. Feel free to jump ahead to the next video if you believe you're already well versed on both of these mechanics. But I do recommend you keep watching since you never know when you might learn something new. Plus, it helps me make progress on my plan to conquer the algorithm and become supreme overlord of YouTube, so it's appreciated. That being said, let's dive deeper into Charge with Light. Charge with Light in Destiny is a stack of buffs that gets expended to empower Guardians in various ways. All Guardians start with the ability to hold up to a stack of 2 of Charge of Light buffs, and that can be taken up to 5 with the correct mod combinations. The method in which these buffs are utilized can be classified into 2 overarching areas. The first is to gain ability energy to 1 or more of your abilities. Examples of mods in this area include Firepower and Heavy-Handed. The second area is based on passive improvements to a Guardian's lethality or survivability. Examples of mods in this area include Protective Light and High Energy Fire. For a very long time, the staple to becoming Charged with Light has been through a mod called Taking Charge that provides you with a stack of the Charged with Light buff on picking up an Orb of Power. This, however, might get potentially much harder in Witch Queen with the recently announced changes in a This Week at Bungie article that you can read in the description below. The TLDR of this article is that mastered weapons will no longer be able to generate orbs of power by default on multi-kills. Instead, generating these will take an extra mod slot on helmets. With ammo finders already inhibiting helmet armor slots, fitting this into builds leads to compromises that many Guardians, including myself, do not want to make. Thankfully, there is another extremely easy way to becoming Charged with Light, through Elemental Charge. Before we dive deeper into Elemental Charge, let's talk briefly about Elemental Welds. Elemental Welds are, welds that Guardians can create by equipping the right mod and carrying out specific actions that meet the requirements of the equipped mod. For example, Reaping Wellmaker is a 2-cost void mod that creates a void elemental well on your first weapon kill after activating your class ability. At base, these wells grant you ability energy for your lowest charged ability if not on a matching subclass, and ability energy to all 3 of your abilities if your equipped subclass matches the affinity of your generated elemental well. You can gain other passive benefits from picking up these wells by combining well generation mods with other elemental well mods. Example of this is the Well of Tenacity mod that grants you a 5-second period of 10% damage resistance on picking up an void elemental well. Arguably, the most important elemental well mod, however, is Elemental Charge. The 2-cost mod grants Guardians a single stack of Charge with Light on picking up an elemental well, or 2 stacks if the well that you pick up matches the affinity to that of your subclass. With how powerful elemental wells have become due to various mods released during Season of the Lost, it makes a lot of sense to make the switch to a combination of elemental well mods and Charge with Light mods that work in unison, than just relying on one or the other. With those 2 background discussions out of the way, I'll end this video with a brief mention of the elephant in the room, Protective Light. Protective Light has been a staple of endgame PvE for multiple seasons now. This 2-cost mod gives you a brief period of 50% damage resistance when your shields are broken by a non-player combatant. This consumes all your stacks of Charge with Light, and the more stacks that are consumed, the longer the period of damage resistance lasts. Even though you might be able to do without every other Charge with Light mod. This mod is extremely powerful in its current state and is a must-have for any challenging content. Going forward, all of the build crafting and discussions in this video series will be based on the assumption that this mod will be one that you'll be willing to equip and are planning to make full use of. Now that I have addressed that, I want to thank you guys for watching till the end and want you to know that I value your time a lot. I will try my very best to make sure I deliver the best content without wasting any of your time. So if you have any suggestions on improvements to my videos, please leave them in the comment section down below. As always, a like and subscription are appreciated, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.